That's the nature of the scam. It's a bank shot. So then the rebuttal from the Dems is like, oh, well, the vast majority of the people who are marked as live in the Social Security Administration weren't receiving Social Security Administration payments. That is true. What they forgot to mention is they're getting fraudulent payments from every other government program. And that's why the Dems were so opposed to turning off, to declaring someone dead who was dead, because it would stop the entire all the other fraud from happening.
And so, but all this, is it trackable? Like all this other
Yeah.
fraud,
It's
if
totally
they
trackable.
wanted to, they could chase it all down.
Yeah, it's not even hard.
And yet they're opposing chasing it all down.
They're opposing chasing it all down because it turns off the money magnet for the illegals.
Wow.
Because it's very logical to like I'm saying the most common sense things possible. If someone's got a birthday in Social Security that is an impossible birthday, meaning they are older than the oldest living American or were born in the future, then you should call them and say, excuse me, we seem to have your birthday wrong because it says that you're 200 years old. That's all you need to do. And
then you would remove them from the Social Security database and make that number no longer available for all those other government payments.
Exactly.
Wow. And how much money are we talking?
It's hundreds of billions of dollars.
And this is all traceable. Like you could hunt all this down.
Like you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes here, is what I'm saying.
Well,
we don't need to call Sherlock Holmes for this one.
Is this part of the...
We just need to call the person and say, excuse me, we seem to have the we must have your birthday wrong because it says you're 200 years old or were born in the future. So could you tell us what your birthday is? That's all you need to do. It's that simple.
But all these other government payments that are available that are connected to this Social Security number, it seems like if you just chased that all down, you would find the widespread fraud. You would find where it's going.
Yes, but the root of the problem is the Social Security Administration database, because the Social Security number in the United States is used as a de facto national ID number. You know, that's why, like, the bank always asks for your social. So, like, any financial institution will ask for your Social Security number.
It sounds so insane that this isn't chased down. I mean,
I agree.
That in and of itself that's such mishandling.
Yes. No, it's mind blowing. So yeah, it's crazy.
Well, you were very reluctant last time you were here to talk about the extent of some of the fraud, because you're like, they could kill me because this is kind of.
What I'm saying is that, to be pragmatic and realistic, you actually can't manage to zero fraud. You can manage to low fraud number, but not to zero fraud. If you manage to zero fraud, you're going to push so many people over the edge who are receiving fraudulent payments that the number of inbound homicidal maniacs will be really hard to overcome. So I'm actually taking, I think, quite a reasonable position, which is that we should simply reduce the amount of fraud, which I think is not an extremist position. And we should aspire to, have less fraud over time. Not that we should be ultra draconian and eliminate every last scrap of fraud, which I guess would be nice to have, but like we don't even need to go that extreme. I'm saying we should just stop the blatant, large-scale, super obvious fraud. I think that's a reasonable position.
It's a very reasonable position.
Yeah.
And so what was the most shocking pushback that you got when you started implementing DOGE, when you started investigating into where money was going? Well,
I guess I should have anticipated this, but while most of the fraudulent government payments especially to the NGOs, go to the Democrats, most of it, like, I don't know, for argument's sake, let's say 80%, maybe 90%, 10 to 20% of it does go to Republicans. And so when we'd turn off funding to a fraudulent NGO, we'd get complaints from whatever, the 10% of Republicans who were receiving the money. And they would, they would very loudly complain. Because the honest answer is the Republicans are partly, they're receiving some of the fraud too. They're getting a vig.
Jesus.
Yeah, I want to be clear. It's not like the Republican Party is some
No.
ultra pure paragon of virtue here.
No.
Okay.
No. Well, you see that with the congressional insider trading. It's across the board.
Yeah.
It's left and right.
I mean, the whole uniparty criticism has some validity to it. There's so and it's like if you turn off fraudulent payments, it's not like I said, it's not like 100% of those payments were going to Democrats. A small percentage were also going to Republicans. Those Republicans complained very loudly. And that's so there was a lot of pushback on the Republican side when we started cutting some of these funds. And I tried telling them, like, well, 90% of the money is going to your opponents, but they still, even if they're getting 10% of the money,
They want their piece.
Yeah, they want their piece.
And they've been getting that piece for a long time.
Yes.
Did you
This
think...
is why, politics is like...
It's dirty business.
Yeah, I mean, that's like saying if you like sausages and respect the law, do not watch either of them being made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's not even true because I've made sausage before.
Yeah. It's actually
It's not that big a deal.
It's
You add
much better than
fat and
politics.
spices and casing, run it through the machine. Not that big a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the stuff I'm saying here is not like if you stand back and think about it for a second, like, oh yeah, that makes sense,
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like one political party is going to be pure devil or pure angel. There's I think there's much more corruption on the Democrat side, but there's still some corruption on the Republican side.
How
too.
did it happen that the majority of the corruption wound up being on the Democrat side?
Well, because the transfer payments, especially to illegals, are very much on the Democrat side.
So that's the root of it all, is the illegal situation.
Yes, I mean there's
Or a focal point.
Yes, it's also like it would also be accurate to say that while obviously not everyone who's a Democrat is a criminal, almost everyone who is a criminal is a Democrat. because the Democrats are the soft on crime party. So if you're a criminal, who are you going to vote for?
Right.
The soft on crime party.
Did you think you were going to be able to get more done than you were?
We did get a lot done.
Right.
And DOGE is still happening, by the way. The DOGE is still underway. There's still waste and fraud being cut by the DOGE team, so it hasn't stopped.
It's less publicized.
It's less publicized, and they don't have like a clear person to attack anymore.
Well, it seems like once you stepped away,
they're basically they applied immense pressure to me to stop it. So then I'm like, the best thing for me is to just cut out of this. And in any case, as a special government employee, I could only be there for like 120 days anyway, something like that. So whatever the law says. So I could only be there for 4 months as a special government employee. So, yeah, I mean, you turn off the money spigot to fraudsters, they get very upset, to say the least. But my death threat level went ballistic. It was like a rocket going to orbit. Yeah. So, but now that I'm not in DC, that I guess they don't really have a person to attack anymore.
well, the rhetoric about you has calmed down significantly.
Yeah.
It was disturbing. It was disturbing to watch. It was like, this is crazy. And to watch these politicians engage in it and all these people just like framing you as this monster. I was like, this is so weird. Like, this is what happens when you uncover fraud.
Yes.
The whole machine turns on you. And if it wasn't for a person like you who owns a platform and has an enormous amount of money, like, it could have destroyed you.
Yeah.
And that was the goal.
The goal was to destroy me, absolutely.
Because you were getting in the way of this amazing graft.
This gigantic fraud machine.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think DOGE team's done a lot of good work. In terms of fraud and waste prevented, my guess is it's probably on the order of $200 or $300 billion a year. So it's pretty good.
What do you think could have been done if you just had like full reign and total cooperation? How much do you think you could have saved?
I mean, what level of power are we assuming here?
Godlike.
Oh yeah, I could probably cut the federal budget in half and get more done.
That is so crazy. It is so crazy
Yeah,
that it's
get more done and federal budget in half.
widespread. It's that widespread.
Well, I mean, a whole bunch of government departments simply shouldn't exist, in my opinion.
Like examples.
Well, the Department of Education, which was created recently, like under Jimmy Carter, our educational results have gone downhill ever since it was created. So if you create a department and the result of creating that department is a massive decline in educational results, and it's the Department of Education, you're better off not having it, because we did better before there was one than after.
When you let the states run it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because at least the states can compete with one another. But the problem is, like, you hear like cutting Department of Education. Well, our kids need education. Like, yeah, they do. But this is a new department that didn't even exist, until the late 70s. And ever since that department was created, the educational results have declined. And so why would you have an institution continue that has made education worse? It doesn't make sense.
They killed it, though, right?
No, there's still, unfortunately.
But they were trying to kill it.
It has been substantially reduced.
Okay. What other organizations? What other departments?
Well, I mean, I'm a small government guy, so when the country was created, we just had the Department of State, Department of War, and sort of the Department of Justice. We had an Attorney General and Treasury Department. I don't know why you need more than that.
So what other departments specifically do you think are just completely ineffective?
Well, here it's like a question. It's a sort of philosophical question of how much government do you think there should be?
Right.
In my opinion, there should be the least amount of government.
I've heard the most bizarre argument against this is that you're cutting jobs and you're going to leave people jobless. And I'm like, but their jobs are useless.
Paying people to do nothing doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like there's a great it's a story about like Milton Friedman, who is awesome. Generally whatever Milton Friedman said is, people should do that thing. I'm not sure if it's apocryphal or not, but like someone complained to him, like he observed, I think, people that were like digging ditches with shovels, and he said, well, like allegedly Freeman said, well, I think you should use excavating equipment instead of shovels, and you could get it done with far fewer people. And then someone said, well, but then we're going to lose a lot of jobs. Well, then Friedman says, well, in that case, why don't you have them use teaspoons? just dig ditches with teaspoons. Think of all the jobs you'll create. It's bullshit. Basically, you just want people to work on things that are productive. You want people to work on building things, on building, providing products and services that people find valuable, like making food, being a farmer or a plumber or electrician or just anyone who's a builder or providing useful services. That's what you want people to be doing, not fake government jobs that don't add any value or may subtract value. There's also to illustrate the absurdity of how is the economy measured. Like the way economists measure the economy is nonsensical, because they'll measure any job, no matter, even if that job is a dumb job that has no point and is even counterproductive. So the joke is like there's two economists going on a hike in the woods. They come across a pile of shit, and one economist says to the other, "I'll pay you $100 to eat that shit." So the economist eats the shit, gets the $100. They keep walking. Then the other then they come across another pile of shit, and the other economist says, "Now I'll pay you $100 to eat the pile of shit." So he pays the other economist $100 pile of shit. Then the way they said, "Look, wait a second. We both just ate a pile of shit, and we don't have any more extra money. Like we both, you just gave the $100 back to me, and we both ate a pile of shit. This doesn't make any sense." And they said, "No, but think of the economy, because that's $200 of in the economy. That basically then measure eating shit would count as a job." This is to illustrate the absurdity of economics.
One of the things you said when
eating shit should not count as a job.
One of the things you said when you stepped away is that you're kind of done and that it's unfixable. That or under its current form, the way people are approaching it.
You can make it directionally better, but ultimately you can't fully fix the system. It would be accurate to say that even unless you could go like super draconian, like Genghis Khan level on cutting waste and fraud, which you can't really do in a democratic country, an aspirationally democratic country, then there's no way to solve the debt crisis. So we got national debt that's just insane, where the debt payments, the interest payments on the debt exceed our entire military budget. I mean, that was one of the wake-up calls for me. I was like, wait a second, the interest on a national debt is bigger than the entire military budget, and growing. This is crazy. So even if you implement all these savings, you're only delaying the day of reckoning for when America goes bankrupt. So unless you go full Genghis Khan, which you can't really do. So so I came to the conclusion that the only way to get us out of the debt crisis and to prevent America from going bankrupt is AI and robotics. So, like, we need to grow the economy at a rate that allows us to pay off our debt. I guess people just generally don't appreciate the degree to which the government overspending is a problem. But even like the Social Security website, this is under the Biden administration. On the website, it would say like we based on current demographic trends and how much money Social Security is bringing in versus how many Social Security recipients there are, because we have an aging population. Relatively speaking, the average age is increasing. Social Security will not be able to maintain its full payments, I think, by 2032. So Social Security will have to start reducing the amount of money that's been paid to people in about 7 years.
And so the only way to fix that, robotics, manufacturing, raise GDP.
You've got to basically massively increase the economic output, which is and the only way to do that is AI and robotics. So basically, we're going bankrupt without AI and robotics, even with a bunch of savings. The savings, like reducing waste and fraud, can give us a longer runway, but it cannot ultimately pay off our national debt.